Hey, this is WhyBeAre with BeamNG.drive, and today we're going to be taking a look at a mod that adds a Toyota AE86 Sprinter to the game. And as you can see, we have a lot of options available to us, but most of the ones you see right here are very similar. These are all stock versions of the vehicle. On a lot of mods, you'll have just one version of the vehicle. With this one, you have the version of the vehicle sold in many different countries. In addition to that, you also have some that are the facelifted version, and you have some that are the pre-facelift version, and then some with the pop-up lights and the not pop-up lights. And there's just a lot of different part combinations that are available in real life, and this mod has pretty much every one you can imagine, it seems like. And instead of taking a look at every single version of the vehicle that's available, we're just going to look at some of the different parts that are available. And I'm going to go ahead and spawn up another version of this vehicle that's very different from the one we have, and hopefully it doesn't roll down this cliff, because it's going to be right on the edge of the cliff, so I'm going to be flooring it right as it spawns up, and come on, get some traction here. Don't you dare roll backwards on me. Go forward. Okay, we're good. And now I need to come to a stop. All right, we're good. So, first off, some versions of the vehicle are hatchbacks like this one right here, and some of them are coupes like this one right here. So which one is better? I would say the hatchback is better purely from a practical standpoint. This thing has a lot more storage than the sedan does, and for me, I always end up having to transport surprisingly large things in my car. So for me, the more storage space, the better, especially in a situation like this, where the dimensions of the two vehicles are identical, and one of them just has more space than the other one. Some people might argue that one version of the vehicle is better than the other one because the chassis is a little bit stiffer, or the vehicle is a little bit more aerodynamic. The way I see it is if you care about those small differences enough, you're probably going to be modifying the car anyways to get maximum performance out of it, and once you start modifying the car, you can overcome those differences in the stock vehicles. The second major difference is the front end. Some of them have a Trueno front end, and then some of them have a Levin front end. So what's the difference? Well, on a Trueno front end, it has pop-up lights. And you know me, I love pop-up lights. So take a look at that. It's awesome. You turn on the lights, they go up, they go down, they up, they down. It's adorable. You turn on the lights here, it's like, yeah, the lights went on. Whatever, I don't care. You go here, it's like, oh, that's cool. Pop-up lights, man, they're great. So what's the perfect version of this for me? It's the most well-known version. It's the hatchback with the Trueno front end, and that just happens to be the one that's the most iconic. I don't have one right now, but that's the one I feel like driving around, so we're going to go ahead and spawn one up. Now that's what I'm talking about, although there is one small problem with this one. It's right-hand drive. So the neat thing about this mod is you have the option between right-hand drive or left-hand drive, depending on which version you pick. I think everyone I've chosen so far, though, has been right-hand drive. So why don't we go ahead and get a left-hand drive version. But first, let's make sure we don't just spawn it right off the edge of a cliff. And the neat thing about the left-hand drive ones, or the not-so-neat thing, is that the bumpers are different, but they're also completely hideous. That's the US spec bumpers. They are just a lot bigger. Like, look how far that bumper sticks out. It looks kind of comical when you look at this one, which really fits the vehicle nicely. And this was like, wow, that's big. Same goes for the front. It's like, wow, that thing sticks out. And that one over there, this doesn't stick out quite as much. But the nice thing is, when you go to the inside here, it's left-hand drive. But when you go to the inside of the other one, you'll see that it is right-hand drive. So it's really cool that the vehicle has the option to be left-hand drive or right-hand drive, depending on which version you choose. And if you wanted to, you can mix up the parts however you want to have the perfect version of the vehicle, whatever that might be for you personally. And while we're on the inside of this vehicle, we can take a closer look at the interior. So it has all the functionality you like to see. It has a working steering wheel. It has working pedals, it has working gauges, and it also has a working parking brake, which you might have noticed just on the edge of the screen right there. So if we hit it on or off, it'll go up or down. And also you have the headlights, and there's a little knob to the left side that actually rotates when you turn the lights on or off. And again, you get to see the lights go up, and then they go down, and then they go up, and then they go down. It's adorable to watch them. It also lights up everything in the dash as well. You have a blinker that moves, and then you have a light on the dash as well. It's all very nicely done. And then you have a clock, which is synced to the computer clock. So yes, as I'm recording this, it is really 23:39. And by the time this is done, it'll probably be, it'll be a smaller number than it is right now. That's for sure. It'll be much, much smaller. Anyways, let's go ahead and do an interior crash with this thing. I'm not going to do anything too crazy with it. Just maybe do a little bit of a misstep with the drifting, like you're trying to be Mr. Drift Master. And then, oh no, I crashed. Although I kind of missed the crash because it hit the side of the vehicle, didn't I? Oh, there we go. There's a little bit of crash you can actually see from the inside. All right, can we still go? No, something's really bad with the rear of this thing. All right, we'll take a look at the outside of this, but I want to do one more where you can actually see what the crash looks like from the inside. And I was trying so hard to do a misdrift that, well, I did exactly what I wanted, but then I didn't think about the fact that you wouldn't be able to see things well. Deformation looks good though, so let's go ahead and reset it. Then we got to go back into the interior of this thing, turn on the headlights just because we can, and we are ready to crash. I just got to find the target. And there is one tree I know of that sticks out really well, and it's a good target, but if I see something better before it, we'll crash into that instead. But so far, I have yet to see anything better, and the tree I'm thinking of is right around this corner, so we're going to crash into that tree. There it is. We'll do about 16 times slow-mo, and watch the impact. Ooh! Yeah, that dash got pushed into my chest hard right there from that impact. All right, go ahead and speed things up. Try to make it come to a stop. Looks like we came to a stop okay without falling off the cliff. That's good. Well, let's take a look at the damage from the outside. So our bumper kind of got grabbed by the tree a little bit. Can we still put down power though? Yes, we can. We can actually move away from that. That is very surprising. I know this thing can break from an impact just like that, and we just got lucky in the fact that it still drives. And once again, the damage here seems pretty reasonable, although it's really sad how you're missing one light, so I can't really drive this thing anymore without crying, so we got to reset it. Going back to all the different versions of the vehicle that are available, in addition to the two big changes that I've already mentioned, there's also the original version versus the facelifted version, so we're going to go ahead and try to get one of each real quickly. And I think the one that I just spawned up was the facelifted version, so now we're going to need the original version. And if we look at the front of this thing, you can see the front bumper is slightly different from the vehicle next to it. It's not a major change, but it is worth mentioning. There are multiple front bumper options for all these things. Now, which one of these two do I like better? I like the one on the left, because the one on the left, the light wraps around the bumper a little bit more, where this one, it just kind of stops. And this one just looks a little bit nicer. And while we have all these different versions out, it's worth mentioning there are a lot of color options for the interior as well. So this one has blue and bright beige for the interior. That's kind of a crazy color combination. This one is a little bit more boring. It's just black and gray. How about this one over here? Again, pretty boring. What about this one? There we go. Now we're talking. So this one has kind of a burgundy and orange. That's a kind of crazy color combination. And then this one has beige and burgundy. So lots of different combinations you can make too. If you wanted to have the orangish looking interior here with the blue from this one, you could totally do that if you wanted to. Although it'd be hard to put the bush into both of them because that bush just happens to be right there inside of the car. And then some of them have two-tone paint jobs. Some of them don't. I think actually most of the ones I spawned up do, but does this one? No, it does not have a two-tone paint job, although it kind of looks like it. The shadow makes it look like it has one, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Yeah, if you lift the vehicle up, you can tell it's just the way the shadow makes it look a little bit darker there. I think all of the two-tone paint jobs are actually black. There's no other color two-tone paint job stock. Is there? Oh, I guess there is gray on black. That makes sense. But aside from that, yeah, I don't see any other stock colors. And you'll notice too, some of the vehicles, they do have plastic bumpers. Some of them have normal bumpers. Let's see, do any of the ones I have plastic bumpers? Yes, this one has a plastic bumper. And then these ones over here, they have regular bumpers, but they kind of look plastic because of the two-tone paint job, but they are not plastic. So just tons of different part options. You also have like different tail lights on some of them. So like these two, they're both the same type of vehicle, but you can see clearly this one has a different taillight than this one. And then also the molding behind the license plate is a little bit different. Like this one is all kind of black, and then this one, it doesn't have anything behind it. And once again, this one does. This one doesn't. This one does. Okay, enough of that. So I want to take a look at one more stock version of the vehicle, and that is the Black Limited, which is a real limited edition version of the vehicle that I had never heard of until I started doing a video for this mod. And I wanted to pull this one out because all of the small details here really show how detailed this mod is. So on the Black Limited version, all the text is gold. Apex, Twin Cam, Inline 6, Toyota Sprinter, Trueno, all that back here is gold. It even says Black Limited in between the lights. Text on the side, gold. Text in the front, gold. And then even the text on the wheels, that too is gold. You go into the interior, all of the dash is gold. Like that is not what the other ones look like. The other ones have boring white text, but this one's special. It has gold text. And you'll notice the clock is orange though. You're like, well, why is it orange? Because that's what it is in real life. And then when you turn the lights on, everything else becomes the same orange. And it all matches up then. Like, the amount of small details here is so impressive. Even the shifter. The shifter has the colors there being gold. You look at the seats. These are special seats with the word Apex in gold on them. Like, there are so many small details like that that are implemented in this thing. And that truly shows, like, kind of how much care was put in this thing. It's also one of the few vehicles I've seen, I should mention, that has a light on the license plate that you can actually see. Like, sometimes you'll see vehicles that look like they would have a light there, but I don't know if I ever really see it actually light up the license plate like this one does. Anyhow, as much as I would really hate to crash a limited edition version of a vehicle, that's what we're going to be doing. We just got to find the right spot to do it. Oh, we're going at good speed. You can tell because the chime is going, which I'll let you listen to in a minute. We got to talk about all the custom sounds too. There's so much in this mod. There we go. We got a little bit of damage to it. Kind of get it out of the dirt so we can take a peek at it. All right. It looks pretty beat up, but I think it's still drivable. So we'll keep on going with this poor limited edition vehicle. We don't have to go far though because here's a cliff. Bye-bye. Oh, maybe it'll drive after all. I thought that might kill it, but it landed pretty flat. Let's see. No, it is... Well, it's not dead, but this thing can't put the power down because it's so lopsided, unfortunately. Is it lopsided because of the landing, though, or because of the angle it's at? Let's try pulling it back a little bit and see if it'll actually drive or not. All right, go, 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 go. Nah, wait. Nah, it can't drive because it's beat up, not because of the angle it's sitting at. So one final look at the damage here before we reset this poor limited edition vehicle. Okay, I gotta try this because look how many cars there are here. We could have some fun with this. So I'm gonna tell the AI to try to chase me and we're gonna see what happens. Oh goodness, they're probably just gonna crash into each other knowing the AI, but let's see what they do. Well, one of them has already spun out, but we still got 3 of them after me. So it's just basically a pack of AE86s roaming the mountains. This is their natural habitat, truly. Although I think I'm kind of losing the AI right there, ain't I? I gotta slow it down just a little bit for them to keep up with me for maximum entertainment. Although what I could also do is I could also just stop and let them all slam into me. They're going to be coming in at probably 60 miles per hour right here. Well, only one of them's going to actually make it. The rest of them have already spun out. They missed. And the other ones are all spun out. Oh, they're going to have a crash themselves. There we go. There we go. There's an impact coming. So it's actually going to be like one car getting squished in the middle here. At least I assume that's what's going to happen here. That guy actually hit me. And he has ruined my special limited edition with his very not limited edition base version of the vehicle. How disgusting. All right, go ahead and go full speed as they keep going. Oh goodness, they keep going. I had my brakes on, but that was not enough to stop the force of 2 cars. And here comes number 3, 4, 5 cars into the mix, actually. Let's just call it 5 cars, even though it's only 4 AIs. There's 5 cars in the crash. What a complete disaster this has become. It's also a great disaster, though. So I think that's going to do it for this map. I want to go ahead and change maps just to get rid of all these cars, kind of. So how about we head over to Utah, USA? Also, one thing you might notice is when a map is loading, there are custom load screens that come with the car. So when you see a Trueno on the load screen, that's why. So far, we've just focused on the looks of the vehicle, but there are also some custom sounds I want you to be able to listen to as well. There are actually 3 of them. Number 1 is the sound of the blinker when you turn it on. Number 2 is the sound of the chime that comes on once you reach past about 60 miles per hour. And then number 3 is the engine itself. So go ahead and have a listen. Okay, well, there's nothing else to listen to now that the car is wrecked. It's kind of hard to see anything with the tree in the way, so how about we go ahead and save this, bring it back to where we started, and load up the damage, and I like seeing the body parts just fall all over the place. So that was a pretty hard hit. It actually pushed the engine a little bit inside of the cockpit of the vehicle, and once again, a crying shame to a limited edition version of the vehicle. Although one of the lights still pops up. I don't know how, but it does. It even goes back down still. That's amazing. Can this thing drive still then? No. I did not expect it to, but I was curious if somehow the drive shaft stayed attached. It did not. Since I feel bad crashing this thing, let's get a different version of the vehicle. We're going to go with the tuned one, which has a stage 1 turbocharger, big wing hatch, and a nice red-black paint job. It's an awesome little tuner car to drive. So we're going to spawn that up, and then in addition to that, we're going to go ahead and grab the police version. So the police version is going to be for me, and then the red one is going to be for the AI. So we're going to go ahead and tell them to do their best to get away from me, and I'm going to chase them down. Oh, please don't hit me, though. Oh, yep, they hit me. So now I actually have a reason to chase them down. They hit me, we turn on the sirens, and it is on. Although this is not the best situation to be in now that I think about it, because we're on Utah, USA, which has a lot of long straightaways, and the AI, they're pretty slow in the corners, but in the straightaways, they're just as fast as me in the same car. If they have a faster car than me, it's going to be hard to catch them. Like you see right here, they are putting some distance between us. Oh, and the cop car has the chime as well. I didn't think about that, but I guess, yeah, why not have the chime too? Oh, got a little bit slippery right there, but we might be able to hit them. Just kind of get a tap, maybe make them go off balance. And not quite a pit maneuver, and uh-oh, it's making me get off balance. All right, just straighten it out. We had to go in the dirt a little bit right there, but that was the safest feeling bet. And again, we got a corner though, so this is my chance to catch up. And here's a second chance for a maneuver to take them down. There we go. I hit them right as they were braking, so they kind of lost traction in the rear wheels. And I think we have blocked them in. Yeah, they are not going anywhere, and I think they just popped the tire as well. They're revving the engine trying to, but yeah, they're not going anywhere. It looks like they're going to go somewhere maybe eventually, but by now, I would be out of the car and pulling them out of the car saying they're under arrest for hitting a police car. Let's go to the next version of the vehicle, which drives terribly. It is the stanced version. It's low, really low. You can't really drive it, but it is looking cool with the wide body kit and the forest green color. It also has some nice wheels on it as well. So you can see the wide body kit on this thing is one of the ones where it's like just bolted on. And I'm not going to bother counting all the bolts, but you can see there are a lot of bolts holding that thing on. And then you can see just how stanced this thing is. It is sitting pretty low to the ground. It does have a skid plate, thankfully, so at least it's a little bit more durable than just a regular stanced car. Then over on the rear, you see the exhaust is different. And if we pop into the inside, you see it also has a racing chair there, a roll cage, which also comes with a fire extinguisher in the back as well. So let's go ahead and try to drive this thing around a bit. And, well, it drives terribly because when I go to full steering, it doesn't really feel like it steers that much at all. So this is full steering, just trying to do a maneuver right here, okay? Look how far out this thing goes. I nearly crashed into the building right there. For reference, let me show you what it looks like when you do that with a regular version of the car. So I'm just going to grab whichever one. It doesn't really matter. And I'm going to put it in the exact same spot, and you're going to see just how big of a difference it makes in terms of turning radius. So, that guy's still stuck. We'll move him forward just a little bit to make sure I'm in the exact same spot. Okay. And then we're going to park it right in his spot. So, boop. Perfect. And then, of course, we do got to reset it so it's not damaged. And here we go. We're going to go full steering to the same direction and then just gently accelerate like we did with the last one. And look at that. Look at the difference there. It didn't even come close to the building. And this one over here, it does it. And look, it just takes so much space. I'm going to hit the wall this time if I go a little bit faster, it looks like. Also, it has no traction because so little of the wheel is actually really touching the ground well. And with the turbo, once the turbo kicks in, you just kind of slide. Like, this is a very terrible car to drive. I don't like it one bit, but we're going to try to give it at least an honest little drive real quickly. And we'll get it up to a high speed. I think this one might have the chime removed, actually. You know, weight reduction and all that. Although I don't know if I even trust it to get up to those speeds. This is the car that needs the chime because when you start going that fast, it gets scary. Heck, even below those speeds are scary with this thing. All right, well, past 100 miles per hour. Now we got to slow it down. How are the brakes on this thing? Not that great, but not terrible. They do feel worse than the stock vehicle because you kind of slide all over the place when you slow down, but actual braking distance isn't hugely different, I would think. I don't know. But I'm kind of done driving this thing. It's too stressful, so we're going to just go ahead and try to wreck it up, do a little spin maneuver, and that's not going to wreck it at all. We are, like, undamaged. You might look at the suspension like, oh, no, the suspension's blown out. No, it's like, no, wait, no. It's always looked like that. It's good to go. All right, I'm going to try to do the same thing. I just got to find the right spot for kind of like a spin out or a crash or something. Going to be going over 100 miles per hour, and let's see if it happens interestingly. Ooh, a hit onto the rear hatch. That I did not really expect. All right, I don't think this thing's going to be able to get any traction here because of the stance setup. So there's a look at the damage before we go ahead and reset this. And then I want to do one more thing. I want to park this car right here. I'm going to tell the AI to try to chase me. And because they have such bad steering capabilities, I don't think they'll ever be able to hit me. I think the AI will just basically drive circles around me trying to get to me, and they'll never be able to actually do it. Like, you see them trying to remaneuver to get to me. No, no. The steering is so bad. Just right around me. Oh, they're wising up. Oh, they're going to actually try to do like a 10-point churn right here. Nope, they can't because the curb is there. It just pushes them back upwards. Yeah, you're not going to get me, dude. You missed. That's great. The AI is so dumb, but also that car is so bad at steering, and I think they're stuck there, aren't they? Yeah, they just got themselves completely stuck because that thing can't put down power when one wheel is in the air. So, let's change maps real quickly. I want to go over to Small Island, USA at the default location. And I came to here because the next version of the vehicle we're going to be taking a look at is the rally version, which is one of the best Group A rally cars out there, apparently. Unfortunately, it didn't come with all-wheel drive, but it'll still handle all rally tracks, and there's a rally track right around the corner. Before we get to there, though, quick look at this thing. It does have a custom paint job. In addition to that, it has some rally parts as well, like the rally lights up there, which aren't as good as the pop-up lights still. I don't care how bright it gets. Not as good as pop-up lights. And it also has the same wide body fenders that we had on the stance version that are just bolted on top. And then it has a wing for some downforce. So let's go ahead and get to driving this thing. We're starting on the paved road, and I really don't care how it drives on the paved road. I want to know, how does it drive on the dirt road? So we're going to go to the right here. Usually I go to the left, I'm pretty sure. Let's mix it up a little bit. We're going to go to the right. And I don't know this route quite as well, but I think I have a good enough idea of what it's like to be able to drive it. Although I probably shouldn't try cutting corners that steep, because if I cut corners too steep, that's how you roll a car over. Very, very easily. So right off the bat, I'm noticing it's very momentum based. If we have to climb a hill, it does slow down a bit. It doesn't really have the power to go up a hill. Like right here, we lost some speed, kind of spun out a little bit. And going up this hill, it's a little bit of a struggle. Sure, it'll make it up any hill. It might not necessarily be that fast, though. That was a little bit of a better corner, but still, just using the e-brake right there slowed me down some more than I was hoping. But now we got a downhill. This thing should shine with the downhill, because you don't have to worry about having a ton of power to go up the downhill. We're going about 60 miles per hour through a rally area. That's pretty good, although I got to slow it down some because it's getting some corners. And I guess we'll go to the right here. This is giving you a pretty good idea, I think, of how well it is for rallying. But what if we just drove it wherever? Does it do that, or is it not capable of doing that? We're going to find out. So far, it looks like it's going to be really difficult. And oh, right there, we hit a rock. I could not see the rock because it was being hidden by a bush. And we can no longer accelerate, but I think it's still putting down power. Let me try to go on. Okay, that's kind of weird. It's not reversing. I got to put it to manual mode. And, well, even that does not fix it. We are stuck here. And it doesn't really look that damaged. I guess most of the damage is kind of on the underside of the vehicle. Can we see it on the underside? Maybe a little bit. Well, let's give it another go at just driving around wherever I want, ignoring the roads and all that, because I think it can do that. I just got to make sure I don't hit a giant boulder with the front of the car. You got to have a little bit of care with where you're going. You can hit jumps like that every now and then. I think you'll be okay. Although it did open the rear hatch, which is now bouncing all over the place as we drive. But yeah, we can go up that hill. We can bounce around a little bit. It's fine. It's definitely not as good as like a pickup truck with four-wheel drive and a lot more ground clearance and suspension travel, but it works. Ooh, that's a little bit of an air time. Oh, that's a lot of an air time. I don't know if it's going to survive this. Well, it's going to roll over. I think it would have survived it, but it is upside down, and I think that's all I'm going to do with this one. So we're going to bring it back one more time, and then we're going to go to the next version in the list, which is the Initial D Tofu Delivery. And this is basically the car from Initial D at the end of the series. So it has all of the upgrades, which is really nice. So you can see it has a roll cage, it has a nice little wing on it. And then most importantly and most interestingly is the engine, which revs to 12,000. That's the power of a silver top. And it does have a different sound to it, so I'm gonna let you listen to that. And then here we go with a little bit of a crash. Can we still drive after the crash? Let's see. Nope, it cannot drive. It is stuck right there. Can't really see too much from this side, but from this side you can see a lot of the damage. Now we'll go ahead and reset this again. And now we're gonna head back to another rally car. This one is the coupe version. You might think it's pretty much the same thing as the hatch, but it's not. It has a different paint job, obviously. But most importantly is this thing has a turbo on it, and it doesn't have the problem the other one had where it felt like going up the hill was a bit of a struggle. Nope. In fact, it has the opposite problem where it feels like if you try to floor it, it gets really sketchy. This is one of those cars where you're going to use 100% throttle a couple of times. You're going to realize, wow, that's a lot of power. And then you're going to be like me and just try to use only maybe 75% throttle at the most. This thing, the turbo comes on hard. It has a lot of boost in it. And if you're a really good driver, you can keep it in boost all the time. Sure, I'm scared. Like, I don't trust this thing rallying one bit. So I'm going pretty slow through these rally sections compared to what I'm sure you could really go. I do trust it a little bit more on the paved road, which is kind of funny. You think, oh, it's a rally version. It's going to be very sketchy on paved roads, but really good on dirt. For me, it's sketchy on both. But I don't have to worry about the bumps as much. I mean, in rallying, that's true, though. You race on both dirt and paved roads sometimes. So I guess it makes sense that it would be decent in both areas. I want to try it out on the paved road so you can see what that looks like. I just got to find some paved roads. Let's see. If I'm not mistaken, we should be coming up on some in a little bit. And I'm thinking so much about paved roads, I'm not paying attention to the driving. Almost spun out right there. I mean, I had to slow down so much it might as well count as a spin out. And I'm way overshooting this now to compensate. Yeah, that was great. Can we bounce out of that? Come on. There we go. Okay. Back on the road. Thankfully not for long because there should be a paved road right after this corner. I don't crash into trees first. All right, paved road. This is where my confidence flows through me. And we could slide this thing a little bit and actually use maybe all of its throttle. Yeah, kind of. Like, I'm not putting the power down too well because I'm sliding all over the place, but you can use full throttle through here. Not very safe looking, that's for sure. All right, let's go ahead and wreck this thing. I'm gonna just pop into these trees over here, or miss the trees a little bit and fly into the water. Same thing. It's hard to control, man. I didn't know what was gonna happen. All right, so we got 3 more versions we're gonna be taking a look at. Let's go ahead and change maps for that. We're gonna go over to a racetrack, and how about we use a new one, Automation Test Track. First version we're gonna be driving around the racetrack is, very fittingly, the race version. And it says this is one of the most iconic AE86s. Comes with a racing livery and the legendary Formula Atlantic 20-valve silver top engine, which revs up to 12,000 RPM. Same engine you see in the Initial D Tofu delivery one, I think. And then it also has racing shocks, springs, brakes, and tires. So this should make it a beast on the track. Unfortunately, it is based on 11, so it does not have the awesome pop-up lights, but it does have a nice paint job on it. And you look at it and you think, is that a Nintendo Switch? And you look at it closer, it's like, no. No, it's not. It just looks like one at first. Also has a big old wing on it. And most importantly, that engine. This really is a nice engine to drive. It just has really good power delivery. The other one, you saw when the turbo kicked in, it got a little bit squirrely every now and then. This one, though, you don't have to worry about that. It just does what you expect it to because the power is delivered so nicely. So I don't even really have to think about how much throttle I'm giving it. I just do what feels good and it does exactly what I expect. You You really can't ask more for an engine than that. Well, except reliability is pretty important too. You know, if the engine blows up after a half mile and we're supposed to be doing a 50-mile race, well, that's no good either. And you would think an engine that revs to 12,000, how bad could the reliability be? Well, I don't really know because, you know, I don't think there's anything you can do in terms of normal driving that'll break the engine before it runs out of gas in this game. Like, you would actually have to crash it or damage it somehow, not just normal drive it like I'm doing right here. And we should be able to get this thing up to a pretty good speed through here, even though it's not as powerful as the one we were driving before. We can still get it up to over 100 miles per hour, no problem through this section. Although I bet we could get 150 with the rally version through here. Probably even a little bit more than that, 160 I would say. This is a long straightaway. Still though, up to 135 with this one. That's very, very respectable. And now we're gonna go ahead and ruin it. So I'm gonna just slam into the wall over here. Get a little bit of slow-mo going. Let's watch. All right, nice initial impact. Kind of bounced off the wall, and the tires just bouncing all over the place back there. All right, go ahead and speed this up a bit. Still bouncing off the wall. The tire's coming for revenge, attacking me. Like, that tire came right at us. So we still have some drivability here, it looks like, actually. Let's see. What can we actually do once we're on the road? Oh, no, we can't really do much. Because, like, I have to steer the car to keep it straight, but when I steer it, it starts to bounce, and I can't put the power down, so you're going to just be flailing all over the place, which isn't going to get us very far. So, that will be it for this car. Here's one more look at the damage before we go ahead and reset it. Next up, we're going to be taking a look at the drift version. So that means, yep, we're going to be spinning out shortly. So it says Japanese drifting in a powerful AE86 with upgraded intercooler and lots of power. And the paint job on this thing seems to be inspired by the BMW Z4 from the GT300 series a while ago that had a Miku paint job on it. It even says Good Smile Racing on it, which I'm pretty sure the Z4 said on it as well. Also, this one, it does have the pop-up lights. That truly is what's important. Well, I guess the rest of the car is important too. So the engine in this thing is much more like the engine in the rally vehicle we were driving earlier. And for this vehicle, I'm okay with that. Because the other engine didn't feel like it would have had quite enough power for drifting. This one feels like it has an adequate amount of power for drifting. And this thing really surprises me. Like, I will drift this thing and like I'll do something like this where I think I'm going to spin out at this point. And somehow this car is able to recover. Like, I went in the dirt a little bit just to prove a point, but you saw I didn't spin out. Usually when I get that steep into a drift, I'm not able to recover. So this thing must have a ton of steering angle to be able to do that. You see right there, again, a real aggressive entry right there, and it's very, very capable and surprisingly easy to drive. Like, I could get myself into a bad situation sliding what I would think would be way too hard into the corner, and it finds a way to pull itself through somehow. Let's try to do a good drift right here. Come on. Oh, that's a pretty nice one, getting the whole corner. Oh, that was actually, I'm really happy with that drift. I can't do any drifting better than that. Like, I should just call it quits right now. So how about we just find a place to wreck this thing? Do a little bit of drifting here because it's kind of the easiest way to go around the corners. And if we hit this bump, I think we can go on top of a building, which might be kind of fun. So let's see. Oh, it's going to be close. Can we get over it? Oh, yes, we can. That thing popped us up. And they're going to tumble around and stay right on top of the building. Just barely. Car would still drive. Oh, but it's doing a flamethrower by the engine right now. Yeah, but it's upside down, so it can't do anything. So we'll go ahead and reset it. The last version we're going to be taking a look at is the Time Attack version, which is one of the fastest AE86s ever built. You really need some skill to handle this beast, and, well, I don't have any skill, so I need to, like, call in a driver or something. Or just do the best that I can. Unfortunately, this one is using the big turbocharger on the engine. This is, like, a really big one. It's going up to 40 PSI, so it's very easy for me to spin this thing out, and I have a bad habit of trying to put down way too much power all the time, and it's going to cause it to slide all over the place all the time. So we're not actually going to go that fast probably trying to drive this thing. Like, you see, exactly what I'm doing right here is what you don't want to do. You don't want to put down so much power that you're, like, kind of sliding all over the place. The funny thing is, though, like, I'm rarely putting down more than about 50% power through here, and I'm still kind of just slipping and sliding a bit. Like, we haven't touched close to 100% power. We'll do it on the straightaway, and that's about it. And this thing is truly like a flamethrower when you drive it. Just non-stop flames coming out the rear of this thing. Going real careful there. I'm not going to spin this thing out. Again, still like 50% power at most. And sliding all over the place here still. Alright, we're going to go ahead and unleash all the power once we exit this corner. Oh, if I can exit this corner without crashing, that was bad. Alright. 100% power. We're going to get wheel spin at 50 miles per hour probably. So hold on. It's like 70% power. 100% power, go. Still getting wheel spin at like 120 miles per hour. Yeah, this thing does have power. Can you control it? Like, I'm trying to floor it and keep it straight, but man, this thing is hard to keep straight. That's how you're supposed to corner with this thing, I guess. Just slide it like that. Shoot, I could probably use this as a drift version if I wanted to, but I'm not going to bother trying because I'm happy just whacking it in the wall a couple more times like I just did. See how many times I can do it before I run out of momentum. I think that's going to be it. The dirt's going to slow me down. No, wait, we can keep hitting that wall. It has so much power, we can hit the wall for a long time. Alright, so there is one final look at the damage. And, I don't want to drive this thing anymore. I fear this thing. It has too much power for me, that's for sure. So we're going to go ahead and finish things off with a good old Brutal Slope Leap of Death combo. And for Brutal Slope, I guess we can go ahead and use the same version of the vehicle we were just driving. It is the fastest version after all, so it should be the most brutal collision possible if we use this version of the vehicle. It also has the roll cage, which will help it stand up a little bit to the impact, hopefully. And I wonder if it'll be a little bit easier to control if we go through the tube. Let's try that. So slow, and then floor it! It's actually pretty controllable. Oh, well, yeah, I would say it's controllable enough. Although we are topped out right now, actually. This thing is not going to go any faster on its own. We're going to just blow up the engine soon. And the only reason it's going faster is because of gravity. Engine is gone. And we just got to get ourselves lined up with the big old brick wall over here. And go to maximum slow-mo. Get the camera off of the car so it doesn't shake all over the place. And there goes the car. Got a little bit of a shape of the hatch still. Like, you can still see that is clearly the hatch of the vehicle. Everything else has been completely destroyed. I couldn't tell you what anything else is except for, yeah, that's a wheel. You could tell because, well, what else could it possibly be? What part of that is? Maybe the door? Oh, no, wait, no, that's two separate pieces. See, that's how hard it is to tell things apart when it gets that destroyed. So now, let's move on to Leap of Death at the top. For Leap of Death, I think the issue is going to be traction. So we need something that gets some traction in this terrain. So we're going to go with the Rally Coupe, which has more power than the Rally Hatch. As long as we can put it down okay. That's the only concern I got. Alright, there we go. That's not too bad. It's getting the power down. The transmission was a little all over the place there. Like, it went 55. I feel like we could have gone a lot faster if we just were in first gear and then shifted to second, maybe third. But it was all over the place there. So we'll do this at full speed. There we go. And apparently the engine could still rev. Well, no, it can't rev, but it's still idling. Interesting. Alright. Next impact. Not much car left. Engine is no longer idling, and it's basically falling out of the vehicle. And now the vehicle is wet. Alright, trying it one more time with the manual transmission, as long as you guys get a good look at this. It's just not much to see, really. So manual transmission on, rev it up. First gear, second gear, third gear. That was a bit faster. I would say that's a good 5-6 miles per hour faster. It's not a significant amount, but it was faster. Which means we might be able to just barely clear this. Nope, we're not going to clear it. We're going to smash right into it still. This time we'll get the slow-mo going. And the front half of the car has disappeared. And so is some of the middle half of the car. The engine has fallen out. And now we just let it tumble all the way to the bottom. And that'll do it for the AE86 mod. It's been a while since I made a video because I've been having some health issues. I'm not going to go into those too much because I don't like going into all that negativity. The good news, I think I'm better. There was a point where I thought I was better before. I was wrong. I think this time I'm right, though. And I actually am better. Or maybe not. Hopefully. I mean, you'll be able to tell if I'm making videos, but I don't like bringing all this negativity into things anyway. So, important thing is I think I'm good. That's the positives. And, anyways, till next time, this is WhyBeAre, Horrors in the Water, and I'll see ya.